Greetings, Dr. Noatika. I am Adifami Fatullah bin Rosli, 83051, and today I will briefly present the study titled The Role of Organizational Communication Skills in Enhancing Strategic Communications among Faculty of Education, Language and Communication students. First of all, I'm going to explain the background of this study. In today's fast-paced and connected world, effective communication is crucial, especially in education and the workplace. Organizational communication, which involves delivering and managing messages clearly and effectively, plays a key role in developing strategic communication skills. For students in the Faculty of Education and Communication, learning these skills goes beyond academic needs. It's also essential preparation for career in public relations, education, and corporate communication. At a broader level, strong organizational communication helps institutions build trust, improve efficiency, and align with strategic goals. It also enhances transparency and stakeholders' engagement, especially in public and corporate sectors. On a personal level, students benefit directly from mastering these skills. They learn how to create clear messages, respond to feedback, and adapt communication for different audiences, which skills that are very vital in real-world professional environment. However, most studies focus on professionals, not students. This research aims to fill that gap by exploring how communication courses help students become more confident and career-ready. By applying the two-symmetrical model of public relations, this study highlights the value of mutual understanding, ethical dialogue, and feedback in both academic and professional settings. Ultimately, the findings aim to support curriculum improvement and better prepare students for the demand of today's workforce. Moving on to the problem statement, communication skills are essential for success in both education and the workplace. However, many graduates still struggle with strategic communication, including message delivery, adapting feedback, and audience engagement. Despite effort to include soft skills in the curriculum, there's a clear gap between what student learns and what the job market expects, especially in communication-related fields. There is also limited research on how communication training impacts students, particularly in Malaysian universities. This study addressed that gap by examining how organizational communication skills influence students' strategic communication effectiveness, aiming to improve future training and curriculum design. As for the research objective, the objective of this study are twofold. First, to analyze the relationship between organizational communication skills and strategic communication effectiveness among students in the Faculty of Education, Language and Communication. And second, to evaluate how organizational communication training influences students' readiness for professional roles, particularly in public relations, corporate communication, and education. Going on to the research questions, this study is guided by two main research questions. First, how do organizational communication skills influence strategic communication effectiveness among students in the Faculty of Education, Language and Communication? Second, in what ways does organizational communication training enhances the students' confidence and capability in their future roles? As for the significance, communication skills are among the most valued by employers today. In Malaysia, many graduates still face challenges in meeting professional communication standards, which affect their employability. This study highlights how organizational communication skills, such as message clarity, adaptability, teamwork, and active listening, can help students strengthen their strategic communication abilities. The findings can guide educators and curriculum developers in creating more practical feedback-driven communication programs, especially for students in the Faculty of Education, Language and Communication. It also connects communication theory with real-world application, showing how much communication skills directly contribute to career readiness and professional growth. Although there are some limitations for the study, while the study offers valuable insights, there are several limitations to consider. First, the research is limited to one Malaysian public university and focus only on students from the Faculty of Education, Language and Communication. This may not reflect the experiences of students from other faculties or institutions. It also excludes postgraduate students and does not assess long-term career outcomes. Instead, it focuses on students' perceived communication skills and confidence during their undergraduate studies. Despite these limitations, the findings aim to support improvement in curriculum design and students' training for better graduate employability. Now, moving on to the first research questions, which is how do organizational communication skills influence the effectiveness of strategic communication among Faculty of Education, Language and Communication students? So, this study explores how organizational communication skills like transparency, adaptability, listening, and teamwork impact student effectiveness in strategic communication. These skills are crucial for roles in education, public relations, and corporate communication. However, many students lack practical opportunities to apply them, creating a gap between what they learn in theory and what's expected in real life. Past research highlights the importance of these skills for career readiness and shows that communication training builds student confidence. But there's still limited understanding of how these skills truly affect FELC students' communication effectiveness. This study aims to fill that gap by providing insight to improve curriculum design, internship preparation, and students' transition into the professional world. And what about the second research question, which is in what way does organizational communication training contribute to student confidence and capability in future professional role? And the answer is, this study explores how organizational communication training builds student confidence and prepare them for future careers. Training helps improve teamwork, problem solving, leadership, and the ability to communicate effectively in professional settings. Hands-on experience like internship and workshop also enhance job readiness by bridging the gap between classroom learning and real-world expectation. However, research still lacks focus on how training directly boosts confidence and prepares students to lead, present, and collaborate. This study aims to fill those gaps and offer better insights for curriculum improvement. Past literature support these findings, showing that communication skills are essential for employability and career success. It also highlights the importance of practical, feedback-based training in building strong, confident communicators. Okay, now we're going to move on to the theory that I use, which is Gruenig and Hans, 1984, two symmetrical models of public relations. This study is guided by two key theories. First, the two-way symmetrical model promotes ethical, two-way communication and mutual understanding. It supports feedback-driven communication, helping students build trust, engagement, and effective dialogue. Skills are essential in professional settings. Second, the communication competence theory emphasizes the importance of motivation, knowledge, and communication skills. It highlights traits like assertiveness, adaptability, and critical thinking, which are crucial for students preparing for future careers. Together, these theories provide a strong foundation for understanding how communication training enhances students' strategic communication ability. So, where is it going to be used in this study? In this study, the theory is used to analyze how students engage in ethical, two-way, and feedback-driven communication. It helps evaluate how communication training builds the confidence and strategic communication skills. The theory also provides a framework to assess students' real-world communication competence and guide the understanding of how these skills influence leadership, collaboration, and adaptability in professional settings. What about the research design and method? For the research design and approach, this study uses quantitative research design to examine how organizational communication skills influence strategic communication among students. We adopted a cross-sectional survey approach using stratified random sampling to ensure balanced representation across different programs in the Faculty of Education, Language and Communication. What about the method that we use? This study used a quantitative survey approach to examine the connection between organizational and strategic communication skill. It follows a cross-sectional design with data collected through Google Forms. Around 100 FLC students were selected using stratified random sampling to ensure fair program representation. The questionnaire includes demographic items and uses a Likert scale to measure communication practices and perceptions. The result aims to support curriculum enhancements and better prepare students for real-world communication challenges. For the research scope and sampling, as for the research scope itself, this study focuses on undergraduate students from the Faculty of Education, Language and Communication. It explores how key communication skills like clarity, listening, adaptability, and feedback relate to their strategic communication ability. The goal is to support their career preparation, especially in the fields like teaching, public relations, and business. Postgraduates and students from other faculties are not included to keep the focus clear and consistent. As for the research population, this study focuses on students from programs such as English for Global Communication, Strategic Communication, and Linguistics. They were chosen because their courses are closely related to communication-based career. This also ensures a consistent academic background, making it easier to study their communication skill activity. As for the sampling technique, this study uses stratified random sampling to select around 100 undergraduate FLC students, as it includes students from EGC, Strategic Communication, and Linguistics to ensure balanced representation. And this will be my research framework. That's the end of my presentation today. Thank you so much for listening.